Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for the week of September 6th. We are going to take a look at your current general energies in this first row. We're going to take a look at how you can get the most out of the week in your second row, and then we're going to look at anything unexpected and also any additional details that the universe wants us to know here in your last row. But Taurus, let's see what we have going on for you at this time. We'll take both of these. It's kind of funny. Pretty much everybody has had like something similar to this, like the Ten of Swords in this last row. I don't really feel it's a bad thing. It could be a good thing, but let's see here, Taurus. And of course, we're going to clarify each row as we go along here, Taurus. But let's see. You have this Birds of a Feather card here. Pretty much every single sign for the past few weeks has been getting messages of needing to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who are positive, people who are positive influences, things like that. I don't know. I feel like we're just, maybe... it seems to me that we could be in a time where we are easily influenced or, kind of where our influences play a major role in our lives, and so that's what I would say here. I was even watching a TV show the other day that I stopped watching because it was like putting me in a bad mood, just a TV show. Normally, I'm perfectly fine. Normally, I can watch a TV show. I don't watch a lot of TV, but when I do, sometimes that, I can watch whatever. It doesn't really affect me, but, I was watching something and it really put me in a bad mood, so I turned it off, right? I would be careful of, whatever you're surrounding yourself with here with this card, because I feel like that's exactly what you will experience. You have the Ace of Wands, the Emperor, and the Five of Pentacles here. I get a very strong need. There's a lot of masculine energy here in this first row, I would say. So I feel there's a very strong need for you to kind of be bold and to really face something here with the Emperor card. Something that I think people forget about the Emperor and the Empress is that really they both kind of just represent energy that's inside of us. The Emperor represents the masculine energy, the feminine represents the Empress represents the feminine side of the, energy that's inside of all of us, right? And sometimes when one of these cards, like the Emperor, comes up, it can say that we need to balance or we need to bring more, masculine energy into our life. I don't always feel that, Taurus, but, I am kind of feeling that for you here. With this Emperor card, so I do feel it would be a good week for you to kind of take action on things, especially with the Ace of Wands here. You could actually argue as well that this is kind of masculine and feminine. Not accurate tarot, by the way, but the Ace of Wands is a card of creation. It takes both people to, create a baby, basically, and it takes both energies, right? So I'm oversimplifying things here, Taurus, but, I can't give you the whole explanation of how a baby is made on YouTube. So, ask your mom when you're older if you don't know what I'm talking about, right? But what I would say here is that I feel that you are creating something here, not necessarily life, but you could be, but I feel like you're working on a creative project in general, or you're hoping at least for some sort of new beginning. A couple things that stand out as well. I feel with the Emperor, you need to realize that you are protected. I feel like, the Emperor has armor on, and it kind of just represents being protected from being able to start something. And you have the Five of Pentacles, which is like a card of calling attention to your weaknesses. So I feel like you need to keep it positive, number one, with the Five of Pentacles. And, I feel like you need to realize that there are kind of... the Five of Pentacles to me can represent a place of sanctuary. It is a card of suffering and all this other stuff. But again, I like to remind people, tarot doesn't say oh, you should be suffering. I think sometimes people make it, read tarot and they make it seem like, oh, Five of Pentacles, you're screwed. You might as well give up now. That is not the point of the tarot. The tarot is to say, hey, you could be experiencing this energy. Here's how to get out of it, right? So I feel for some of you, it's you could be feeling left out in the cold. You could be feeling cold. You could be feeling like you're lacking something to get started with the Ace of Wands, but let's see how we can solve this problem here, Taurus. I wouldn't even say it's a major problem. For some of you, clearly, taking this diagonal right here, Five of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, Five of Cups to the Ten of Swords, it's like walking away from something that no longer serves you. Five of Cups is, I consider the Five of Cups to be a good card. He's crying over these three cups, but if he just turned around, he would see these two cups in this bridge that leads to a castle. I feel like you have this card. I feel like you get this card a lot with me, Taurus. I'm pretty sure in your latest reading that I did for you, the September bonus readings, I'm pretty sure you have this card. So, it's a good card because it's like you have a lot more to gain than you realize. And that's what that card kind of reminds me of, is that we have a lot more to gain than we realize. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Ace of Pentacles. This is a big time yes. Like if you're thinking about starting something, if you're thinking about getting a new job, anything new that you're thinking about creating, this is a big time yes. Two aces is just a yes. And the Ace of Pentacles is like a really solid opportunity. With the Emperor, you have the Justice card. You basically have the Justice card twice here. And the Justice card is about balance and approaching things with balance. It's funny. I feel like your masculine energy side of things needs to be balanced out here with the Justice card, especially. And that was the immediate message that I got off of the Emperor. Was something about needing to like kind of really be bold, needing to charge forward as well. He's got these two ramps at the top of his chair here, and those two ramps represent kind of like charging forward no matter what, overcoming obstacles no matter what, which is kind of like the energy that I feel like you could be embracing or needing to embrace. And with the Five of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Cups here. I really feel like you need to focus on those feelings that kind of like make you dreamy. The Knight of Cups is very dreamy. And he is kind of thinking about getting started, but he's not really moving forward. He's like the one knight that is like not really, he's kind of allowing this river in front of him to stop him from, progressing. He's kind of allowing that river to stop him from moving forward. So that can represent your emotions, and it can kind of like say that maybe your emotions are holding you back from getting started on something. I do feel like there could be love coming in here, or for those of you that are looking for love, it's kind of like you're working on it, is what I'm getting here. This, to me, looks like a knight in shining armor coming in for you. We'll see where this goes. Next, for how you can get the most out of the week here, you have this Voyage card. For some of you, it could literally be travel. So if you're traveling or moving, or if you're expanding kind of in some way, I feel that that obviously could lead to a lot of abundance or improvements, or allowing you to get the most out of the week. For others, this could just be mentally. By the way, it's like, have you ever seen a whale lifting another whale into the sky? No, probably not. Maybe in a dream, right? And the message I got off the Knight of Cups isn't like the traditional message, right? I kind of got a more of like a needing to dream energy. I feel like you need to allow your mind to run wild this week, and you could kind of get a lot out of that, especially with this card here. It's like sometimes I think people are afraid to like daydream, or, they start saying like, oh, these things aren't possible in my life. But I feel like you need to dream of the impossible with that card, because then it's like, will you, maybe you have a dream to, kind of live in a castle and breed unicorns or whatever, right? Whatever your dream is. I don't know. It's like some of those things are not possible, clearly. But, at the same time, you might get a lot closer than you think. So that's kind of like what I feel like you need to realize here with that card. You have the Justice card, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles. I would be very, very focused this week on progress. The Justice card is a card of cause and effect. It says to only put energy into things that give you energy back. Again, I'm pretty sure your September bonus reading had a very similar message about needing to be very careful with where you put your energy. I would literally only put your energy into things that move you forward, or I would only put your energy into things that make you feel good at this time. I get a very protective energy off the Knight of Pentacles. He has this, he has armor on as well, just like the Emperor. So I feel like you need to be very protective of your own energy, like what you're working on, all those things at this time. And you have the Three of Pentacles as well. So like I said, good card, because it's a card of quality work, and it's a card that says, work on what you're good at. So I feel for some of you, this middle row is very simple. I really feel it's just saying, make sure to put your energy into the things that you are good at. I know that sounds simple, but at the same time, I think it is just that simple for you at this time to just put things, to do things that you're good at. I am getting something about divorce here as well. If you are going through a divorce or a separation, Three of Pentacles here, Justice card here as well. This could be like an offer, it could be like I don't know what that's called, the whole like settlement offer thing in a divorce, but this could be like an offer coming in for it is kind of like popping into my head here. So especially I would say if you were married to an Aries, a Libra, or a water sign, and you're going through a divorce with one of those signs, then I feel this could be like a settlement offer type thing, if that makes sense. I don't know what that's called, like I said. With the Justice card, you have the World. Definitely, like, again, if you're dealing with something, first off, really good, right? I like where this reading is going. It felt a little bit heavy because of this at the beginning, although, like I always say, to me, two cards, can't control an entire reading. Two cards can't make an entire reading negative. Whenever I do these readings, I'm not asking for anyone to come to my defense here or anything like that. I'm just making a statement that I've had a lot of people who leave comments that say, like, oh, all the cards will be good, and people will be like, oh, 10 of Swords, this reading sucks, whatever. And I always like to remind those people, it's like one card can't control the outcome of a reading, and it really goes to show where your mind is at. If you think one card controls an entire reading, or if that's the thing that you're focused on, it's like we're too addicted to the negative, right? And I've told people before, and I'm going to keep saying this, right? Because it has changed my life. So what I would say here is, like, I totally changed to only positive thinking like a year and a half ago, and look at where my channel's at, and look at where it was before I changed to only positive thinking. I totally got rid of the stinking thinking, and I totally, and I still fall into it, right? There are still days where I, think about things negatively, but I pull myself out. I think that's the one difference that I've made. So the power of positive thinking is real, and again, it's free. It doesn't cost any money to think positively, right? So you can say what you want, but it's definitely worked. And so I would be careful of, like, getting into the stinking thinking here, Taurus. But really nice. The World, card of completion, card of accomplishment. Again, and it would be an ending of a cycle as well. So it's like if you are going through a divorce or something like that, you're ending it here with the World card. It's kind of funny because I have a story popping into my head as well. It's like I used to think, I used to personally think. And I'm not telling you what to think, Taurus, but I used to think about marriage. I used to always say, like, oh, I'm never getting married, me personally, because, like, the divorce rates are sky high, right? But then I came to realize that it's like, or is that, is that like a self-protection mechanism? Is it really that I don't want to get married, or is it like I'm just trying to protect myself from something that might never happen? That's popping into my head here for you, Taurus, and so I feel like for some of you, and it might not even be, this might not even be marriage, right? I feel for some of you, maybe it's like starting a business. Maybe you say you want to start a business and then you don't because you're like, I could get sued, or I could get, in trouble, or whatever. You could have like all these things rushing in your head. And I feel like you need to get rid of those what ifs with this energy here, because it's like, number one, they're probably things that'll never happen. The other thing that I realized in my life personally is like, things like divorce and all that other stuff. It's like you can fear those things and they might happen, but it's like, what if you're meant to go through it in the first place? What if you're meant to learn the difficult lesson, right? And it's like just delaying it isn't going to do anything. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Cups here. Definitely could be love coming in for you here, number one. The Queen of Cups is about nurturing things as well. Very strong nurturing energy here. Like I said, I feel like you need to balance out the masculine and the nurture, the feminine, kind of like the more nurturing side of things. But I feel like if you're working on any projects with the Queen of Cups, I would definitely nurture it into existence. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Fool. I love getting the Fool with the World card in the same row, because the Fool understands that he's going to get to the World and then he's just going to start his journey all over again. So I feel that. Also, like I said, the Fool kind of says, don't be afraid to try something again. He understands, he has been through many processes. He's been through many world accomplishments and rebirths, right? He has this tiny little sack on his back here, and it kind of represents the fact that he understands that he has all the wisdom from his past experiences. He understands that he is not going to repeat his mistakes, in love. I always talk about how I always get comments from people who are like, I'm done with love. Because of, a past person. I'm like, great, that person now is controlling your life. That person is living your life for you because you're writing off love because of one person. Or it could be 10 people. Doesn't matter. The Fool, he has learned from his mistakes. It says that not everybody is the same in love, for example. There are people who are loyal. Like, look in your bag of tricks here that's on your back and say, what did these people have in common? You'll probably find an answer, and you'll be able to pick a better person in the future. Same thing in work or business. It's like maybe you've had a lot of bad jobs, maybe you've had a lot of business failures, but the Fool kind of says like, hey, number one, he's not afraid to look foolish, number one, and number two, he kind of looks at his bag of tricks and he says, what did I do wrong, or maybe what did I do right as well? Focus on the positive, right? What are the things you did right in certain situations, and kind of make that your focus with the Fool card. It's like we can, the Fool kind of reminds us also that, if we never take a risk, we're never going to get anywhere. So Again, that's why he's not afraid to look foolish. It's like basically anyone who's done anything great, it's like if whatever they tried to do failed, they would probably look pretty foolish, but they were also not afraid to look foolish as well. And again, I always like to remind people, it's like, if you look at any motivational story about anyone who's been successful, they all had a bunch of failures, right? So I feel like I do get that feeling here. The reason I'm telling you this, Taurus, by the way, is because I do feel some of you are going to like be trying something again here, or trying something over. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have adrift in the shallow waters here. It says, take a few deep breaths and reconnect with your inner peace. Notice the small things and appreciate them. So I feel like some of you, this is saying, appreciate the small things. Is that going to focus? I don't know. But there you go. You have and by the way, Five of Cups is about appreciation, right? You have the Five of Cups, the Ten of Swords, the Temperance card, and the King of Swords. The Five of Cups is about appreciating what you do have by turning around and seeing those two cups behind you. He is, kind of disappointed because he has lost his taste for wine. The Five of Cups always reminds me of like people who are kind of maybe afraid to share ideas, for example. It's like, I've had a lot of people come to me who are afraid to share ideas for their businesses and things like that. And I always like to remind people, it's like if you've had one good idea, chances are you'll have another one. So, don't be afraid of, starting in that business because maybe there will be a competitor that comes along that steals your idea. To me, that's coming from competition. As I've said before, we're switching to creation. So it's like we're kind of stepping into this energy that is more creative. The Ace of Wands, it's not competitive. So it's like, what the hell does that mean? It's like if you're starting a business, it's like, yeah, there might be competition, but if by tapping into your creative energy and being more creative about how you grow the business, how you promote it, the products you offer, the things that you do, it's like by being creative, it's like there is no competition. It doesn't even exist because people will be attracted to you because you're creating things, right? So that's what I would say here with the Five of Cups. It's not really a comfort zone card, but I do get that feeling for you because, again, he's crying over something that he once enjoyed, wine, and he has lost his taste for wine. That's why he is upset on this card. But again, if you just turned around, there'd be something better back here, like whiskey or tequila or something better in those two cups. So I feel wine sucks, number one. Wine gives me a headache, and so I would just turn around and look at whatever that two of cups is. Ten of Swords, again, says something is dead, done, over with from the past. The Temperance card here, is about being patient, but I also feel it's kind of like about finding some answers because he is trying to, again, he's picked up those two, look, he has two cups. He's picked up those two cups and he's trying to, imagine what his perfect life would be or how to create his perfect life. And the King of Swords here, I feel is kind of like an answer because the King of Swords is wisdom. Pretty much everything in your reading here, Taurus, to me says that you have all the answers inside of you, especially with that King of Swords energy. The King of Swords can also be law and order. So again, for those of you dealing with like a legal matter, this could be like some justice coming in for you. With the Five of Cups and the Ten of Swords, you have the Queen of Pentacles. You have the resources necessary to move forward towards something new. I do think sometimes if we've experienced an ending in any area of our life, love, business, health, whatever, that we can kind of, it's like when we're at the end of our rope, it's like we're like, what do I do? It's like you're kind of like out of ideas. Five of Cups, Ten of Swords, right? Queen of Pentacles is about digging deep and using your resources, but these could be like internal resources, or it could require you to, again, look at past situations. I really feel it would be very beneficial for you to look at past situations with the Fool card and to look at like what was right, like I said, about situations instead of what was wrong. It'll probably provide some answers or give you some guidance. Again, maybe you want to start a business, but you're like, I've tried everything. What do I try now? I feel like, again, you're not living in the past, you're just looking to the past for some answers for the future. And that's kind of like what I feel like you're doing there. With the Temperance card, you have the High Priestess here. High Priestess has been coming up a lot. Again, we have the B and the J here on the pillars. And, one's black, one is white, and she's sitting in the middle. I kind of have been feeling that, this means a lot of different things. I understand that, but she's sitting in the middle. I kind of feel sometimes that the High Priestess says, like, truly, you could go one side or the other in any area of your life, but probably the answer is usually somewhere in the middle. So it's kind of like taking the middle road or the middle ground. And that's what I feel like you need to do here. I feel like kind of like, like some sort of healing energy on this Temperance card. But it's like how the words that I'm getting are they're kind of like weird. It's like how you feed yourself. Those are the words that I'm getting here, but that could be how the information you take in, like I was telling the story about the TV show and things like that. I feel like you need to be, pay attention to that with this energy this week for sure. And with this King of Swords, you have the Four Wands, card of marriage. Some of you, again, I feel are literally in a death and rebirth cycle as far as marriage or love is concerned. It's weird that I was getting that story earlier about marriage and everything. It popped into my head. So some of you maybe you've written off love, maybe you've written off marriage, but maybe you're about to not. Maybe you're about to meet someone who kind of changes your mind, and maybe you're going to risk it one more time. But again, I would make sure to trust your wisdom with that Fool card. Same thing with business, but as far as business or career is concerned here, Taurus, I kind of get this feeling of being more at the end of at the end of your ideas, like kind of feeling like you're out of ideas here. I only feel that for some of you. And again, if that message resonates with you, that you're kind of like at the end of your ideas, like I said, I would go back to the past as far as career or work or business is concerned. Look at all your failures and say what was right about these things, because that's where your answers are going to come from, I feel. For others, by the way, damn. I mean, there's a lot of freedom showing up here in this reading. So in a lot of ways, I feel like you are kind of releasing the shackles in this reading. Two aces, total new beginning, the world, a rebirth. She kind of represents birthing because there's a portal. It's like you're being reborn into a new world. And you end with the Four Wands. Four Wands is a celebration, marriage, but it's also a card of freedom and being set free. So I feel like you have the Fool here, which is another card of freedom. So I feel like some of you are kind of like releasing the shackles. Those are literally the words that are popping into my head. And I'm kind of picturing the devil as well, which makes sense. There are shackles, shackling those people to the devil. The thing about the devil is those shackles, they are meant to look loose. They're sagging, right, on the devil card. And it's meant to represent that those people, it's like they're really not bound like they think they are. It's much looser than they think they are as well. I'm kind of picking up on that for you here, Taurus, but good reading. I kind of like it. I feel, maybe a little bit of an in-between time here, but still pretty good. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. And make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.